Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So Canelo Alvarez stops Billy Joe Saunders in the 8th round of their super middleweight unification fight. As this fight was playing out, it was relatively interesting. First round was a circumspect round. Billy Joe Saunders was more active with his lead hand, with the jab, whereas Canelo Alvarez was trying to apply pressure. He got a couple of body shots in. Saunders landed a few jabs here and there. Round 1 was very close in my opinion. You could have really given it either way. Rounds 2 and 3, it looked like the writing was on the wall for Billy Joe Saunders. Canelo Alvarez was finding that left hook to the body. The problem is with Billy Joe's southpaw stance, he really leaves that side of the body open, and it's open for a left hook. And Canelo was finding that shot in rounds 2 and rounds 3. He was also timing Billy Joe Saunders with his straight right counter as well. And yeah, he was picking some nice shots in the 2nd and 3rd round. And at that point, I didn't really expect Billy Joe to have any success after the 3rd round. The 4th round was relatively competitive. Canelo Alvarez doing the same thing, looking for the left hook to the body, looking for the overhand right to the head, and also he was looking for a right uppercut as well, which he did land in round 4. But Billy Joe Saunders in round 4 was actually letting go of that jab a bit more regularly. He was actually also using his straight left hand to body and head, and he was scoring a lot more in round 4 than he did in the previous rounds. So round 4 was close. Round 5 was a clear Billy Joe Saunders round. He was much more active than Canelo, landing some light jabs, some straight lefts to body and head. Also landed a good right hook in the 5th round. So round 5 was a clear Billy Joe Saunders round. Round 6 was also relatively competitive. Billy Joe at this point was making Canelo miss quite badly at times with his left hook and his overhand right. But, you know, Canelo was still landing body shots. He was still finding that body far too regularly for my liking. But Billy Joe was doing his thing, having success here and there with the jab, with a couple of little combinations. I felt Canelo won round 6 though. Round 7 was arguably Billy Joe Saunders' best round of a fight. He was making Canelo miss quite badly in the 7th round, and he was picking some nice jabs, some nice straight left hands to the body as well. He landed a couple of good combinations in round 7, and at this point, it was a relatively competitive fight, you know. There was a few close rounds. Saunders definitely won a couple of those. Definitely rounds 5 and round 7. Round 1 was close. Round 4 was close. Conceivably, a judge could have given Billy Joe 4 rounds. So it was definitely a competitive fight going into the 8th round, in my opinion at least. But in the 8th round, Billy Joe Saunders, I believe, got caught with a right hook, and it caught him on the eye, and right away the swelling basically ensued on Billy Joe Saunders' right eye, and it essentially swelled shut. And after Canelo caught Billy Joe with the left hook, he was basically putting it on Billy Joe, forcing him back, landing big power shots to body and head, and really taking something out of Billy Joe Saunders. Saunders got through the round, but in between the 8th and the 9th round, Billy Joe Saunders pulled out of this fight. Either he pulled out or his corner pulled him out, one of the two. Canelo Alvarez got the 8th round stoppage victory in a fight in which he was having problems. Billy Joe Saunders' movement, the southpaw stance, was definitely giving Canelo problems in this fight. But yeah, he turned it up in round 8. He caught Billy Joe with that left hook to the eye. It swollen shut, and either he pulled out or his corner pulled him out, one of the two. But listen, after all of the shit Billy Joe Saunders talked in the build-up to this fight, to go out like that, it's not a good look. He was talking all week about, you know, going out on his shield, that gypsies never quit. Well, it looks like that happened in this fight. So Billy Joe Saunders, he was doing well in the fight. He was competitive. But the way he went out after all of the shit talk, for me, it's not satisfactory. You can't talk like that and then go out in the manner he did. It's just not a good look, and any criticism he gets after this, he's basically put it on himself. He set himself to a standard that he didn't meet. So it is what it is, man. A disappointing way to go out of this fight, again, especially considering he was having success. But all in all, I mean, it was what it was really. It was an interesting fight while it lasted. But was I necessarily impressed with Canelo? I mean, listen, he did what he needed to do against Saunders. He got the job done. But looking at this fight, I'll be honest, there was a narrative that Canelo is much better at cutting the ring off now than he was when he fought Lara, Floyd, etc. I'm not sure whether that's the case. Canelo is much better offensively now. He's much stronger, and he's got better in a lot of ways. But to me, the levels of improvement when it comes to cutting off a ring are very small at best, in my opinion. I mean, I was saying before this fight, I went back and watched the Lara fight recently, and I said before this fight, I don't think Billy Joe's the same sort of fighter as Lara. I don't think he's as good, quite frankly. And even Saunders, with that movement, was giving Canelo problems. So I'm not convinced that Canelo has actually got that much better at cutting the ring off. I didn't think he looked particularly great at it in this fight, but nevertheless, he still found a way to get the job done. And ultimately, he won the fight at the end of the day, and that is what it's all about. But yeah, a weird one. It was an interesting fight while it lasted, but the way Billy Joe Saunders went out in this fight, he's going to get a lot of ridicule, and in my opinion, it's fully deserved. Like I said, given the way he's gone on during fight week, what he said, to go out like this, not a good look, and any criticism that comes his way is justified. So yeah, Canelo Alvarez wins this fight by a 8th round stoppage. He now becomes the unified WBO, WBC and WBA super middleweight champion. That means there's only one belt left, and that is Caleb Plant. Will we get that fight this year? We shall see. We shall see. But anyway, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Del Boy. Peace.